Give me that one. I like that one more. How'd you get a hold of that one? Ready?
The first time's always funny.
I know. Hey guys, Utility Disc Golf here. I'm Tanner.
And I'm Nick.
And today we're reviewing the Discraft Machete. This is a very overstable distance driver from Discraft. I believe it's one of their newer molds, isn't that right?
Yeah, this is one of the newest molds to come out from Discraft. A 2.2 stability rating, if you're familiar with the flight rating systems from Discraft. The only other disc on the Discraft lineup with that rating is the Nuke OS. So if you're familiar with how overstable that disc is, you'll be familiar with how overstable this disc is. And that is really overstable. Yes, yeah, you read my mind. Super overstable. We have it in two different plastic types here. We have it in the Z plastic and
Big Z.
Big Z plastic. Shout out to Disc Golf Center, our sponsor, for sending us these two different plastic types over. Now I'm going to be telling you about the Z plastic here. Z plastic from Discraft is a premium, very durable plastic. It's probably going to be the most durable plastic you're going to get from them. Very similar to your Champion, Opto, Lucid, VIPs, exactly. Similar see-through, durable, premium plastic like that. A little slicker. In the colder temperature when we were throwing this, it was like 27 degrees. It stiffened up a little bit, but I was able to still have a nice grip on it.
Yeah.
A lot of the weight of this machete feels like it's in the rim, so the flight plate's a little thinner, more flexible. I'm able to feel my fingers through it. Overall, I really like the feel of the Z plastic, durable premium plastic. Why don't you tell us about the Big Z?
Big Z plastic is basically going to be known for having that pearl look, a little bit more opaque, and they have big stamps on them.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be your typical like machete stamp that's on every single Discraft disc. These are going to be different like specialized stamps, which is kind of cool.
This stamp is super sweet. It says guy with like a hat on with a giant machete, as you guessed it, and it's like
Cutting through chains.
It's exactly what you feel like this disc is doing when you're throwing it in the air.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Z and Big Z plastic is what we tried them out in, and this is just a typical stamp foil on the Z plastic. Now it is kind of cool. There's hearts all inside of that foil that you'll probably be seeing on a close-up of the disc right now. Now let's get into the look of the actual flight plate and rim of the disc. Now this is a super board flat disc. Once you get away from the rim, or like right to the rim's edge from the top of the disc, it's super flat straight across. It reminds me of similar to some of the more flat top fairway driver-ish or distance driver discs that you've seen. And both of these are like that, so it seems consistent with the mold, not just the Z plastic.
Yeah.
Also there. Now if we flip it upside down and look at the width of the rim, I would say it's getting into the medium to larger width of the rim. It's a little bit faster feeling than a fairway driver, and it's very shallow. I think it's only like a 1.1 centimeter depth, so that's really shallow. Honestly, when I grabbed the disc, it felt like I just wanted to put it into my forehand because of the flat top and the shallow rim, and the width felt comfortable for the forehand, stacking the grip like that.
Yeah, that's how I felt too.
Definitely, guys. Now, what were the actual dimensions of the disc for people if they want to go back and compare them to discs that they've heard that these might be similar like?
Yeah, so if you're looking at the rim depth, which is from the bottom of the disc to where it meets the flight plate, it's about 1.1 centimeters. And then if you look at the rim width, which is from the inside of the flight plate to the rim on the outside, that's going to be 2.1 centimeters. So if you're comparing it to some other discs, I know that it's a little bit wider than a Firebird and a little bit shallower than a Firebird.
Definitely.
Which is probably why we both wanted to forehand it.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of you guys probably have those, and that's just a familiar disc that we know the dimensions of as well. So overall, this is a nice feeling disc for forehands. Backhands were nice as well, medium width. Well, I just want to mention one more thing about the little lip towards the inside of the rim. It seems like it comes up more of an edge. It feels slightly like a bead almost, but it's not. It's just that inside lip once you get more towards the inside of the rim that you guys see there in the picture. Now let's get into how it flew. How did you like throwing it flat backhanded?
Flat backhand. First off, I had to throw these almost 100% power to try to get any distance of them out of it at all. I think the max I threw this disc was probably 330 feet, and that was on an Heiser shot. But flat, I threw it straight out, and immediately out of my hand, I could feel the disc just immediately want to take a left turn. It would hit the ground and have a big skip once it hit the ground as well.
Definitely. And depending on the height, I noticed when it would come in, it would either skip, like you're talking that huge flashing skips when you throw it straight, or if it would come in on a higher height, it would just dig into the ground. These discs really just dug. And we were throwing on turf and they would stop on a dime if it came on too much of an angle. And it did a lot of the times because of the stability, flipping it in. Now, I'll talk about the Heisers. When we threw them on the Heisers, it did what this super overstable disc you thought might do. It's just a Heiser holder. On a low Heiser line, it was just curving left automatically out of the hand, hitting the ground and skipping huge. I could see this being coming in really handy for certain holes, honestly. Yeah. On the spike Heisers, a lot of times, this would be good for maybe 250 to 300 spike Heiser shots, or even 200 footers, just to get them, because they'll stop right when they hit the ground, especially on softer ground. I could see Heisers just tombstoning in. Yeah. But this is a crazy overstable Heiser disc, guys. It's going to hold that line.
Really controllable too.
It is. That's what I liked about it a lot. Controlling the power was only the difference between the distance, it seemed.
Yeah.
Now on the Anheisers, you got some good distance on those, right?
Yeah, that's where I got the most distance. When I threw it on a lower Anheuser shot, it had a nice S-turn. I mean, it flipped pretty fast. I mean, it was... at the 50% flight, it was already flexing back to the other side, yeah. But I got some good distance out of it, but that was me throwing it as hard as I could, fairly low, just trying to get as much distance. If I threw it on more of a sky Anheuser, a little bit higher, the disc would basically immediately fight to the left, and basically, like we were saying on the flat shots, it would tombstone when it came down.
Yeah.
It would hit the ground really hard. Sometimes it would bounce really high. So it's definitely not a good disc to get that nice panning Anheuser shot.
No.
But it could be a get out of trouble disc if you need it to. If you have one way to go and then get around a tree. Yeah. It's definitely going to fight left for you.
The stability is extreme. So on the Anheisers, it almost seemed useless unless we were flexing it on the low line drives, kind of like you were talking about. Now, throwing on a forehand, like we said, when I grabbed this disc, just the feel of it, how flat it was, and the rim size and the depth made me just feel like I wanted to forehand it. But throwing it flat, it's so stable. It's similar to throwing it backhand. Yeah. It's just straight, probably 30% of its flight, and then it's getting that right movement. I'm right-handed, so it's getting the right forehand movement over. Depending on the angle, it was hitting the ground and it was flashing. I was flashing huge skips over to the right, which again I could see coming in handy.
Similar to Austin Turner's ace he had?
Yeah, he had one of those at the Nantucket Open. That's a left-handed Discraft sponsored player, and I'm not sure, he might have thrown the Machete or a disc very similar to that, because he got one of those giant flashing forehand skips.
Yeah, one skip and just chains.
Yeah, and it's definitely because of the stability of the disc that got that. Now, throwing it on a Heiser, it was...
basically the same as backhand.
Basically the same, just super predictable.
Yeah, really good for those shots where you needed to hit the ground and stick, or going into a hillside. Very good utility disc. I mean, we've said it a couple times, I think.
Yeah.
We really think that this is a great utility disc for basically getting out of the woods, getting out of those tough predicaments.
Yeah,
shaping
you could
shots.
get those forehand Heiser skips. With those, that's something that I think will come into play. I can think of a couple holes where I really want to get a giant flashing forehand. So throwing it on that Heiser angle was where we would get that. And on the Anheuser angle is where I got the most distance, just kind of like with the backhand. I really like being able to torque this and have a decent Anheuser angle on it and watch it just shape out of there and get another skip coming on the way back. So I liked it. I feel like I would be able to shape a shot through the woods and the trees with these because of the stability. It's so predictable. I could get it on the Annie or get the most distance out of it like that. I think I was able to get it 300 on my flexing forehand.
Yeah.
Which was really tough. It was a lot of power.
Yeah, like what you were saying about getting out of the woods, if you had to throw it over the trees, if you threw this on almost a vertical angle, this disc has so much stability that it would fight out and still end right for you.
Seriously, so throwing it on vertical angle forehand.
Forehand, yeah.
Yeah, totally. Now, that being said, what we really want to iterate is that this is a utility disc, as in we're not going to be grabbing this more than maybe a couple times around, usually to get out of trouble.
Yeah.
So we threw it on some tomahawks and forehands, which Tanner's a little bit better at, so I'll let him tell you about those.
Yeah, coming from a baseball background, the tomahawk comes in pretty natural to me. You still have to get it on a little bit of an angle so the flight plate is facing the ground a little bit.
Yeah.
If you throw it vertical, the thing just goes vertical, lands on the ground, and just rolls out.
Boing! It bounces, yeah.
But if you got a little bit of that angle on it, this thing gets max distance. I was throwing this just as far on a tomahawk as I was backhand or forehand.
Yeah, definitely. And I was noticing from behind when I was filming with the catch cam, they were getting nice long pans.
Yeah.
Not as quick as I've seen flicks from Discraft do their movements. It was getting nice long ones. Like you said, you're getting a 300, 310.
Yeah, that's throwing it pretty high. If I threw it lower, the flight plate would hit the ground and it'd kind of have a nice skip and go forward more.
So you can almost get a little trick shot with this. Hence why we're saying it's a utility disc. Getting out of jail free.
Yeah, what about that forehand roller?
Yeah, throwing them on forehand rollers was crazy. The stability of the disc, getting them down on that angle just like this onto the ground, getting them down, they would hold like this. Now usually rollers want to flip to the flight plate and roll over, but the stability held it like this for a long time. We got this almost 400 feet until it kind of stood up and twirled around a little bit. But for getting out of the woods, or if you're on a knee and you need to throw this down and have something go straight, this would be a great forehand roller disc that I've noticed.
Yeah.
And also, like we said, those skips, forehand, backhand, low skips to get to a tucked basket. Just these utility shot guys. If you don't have a utility disc in your bag, the Machete would be a great place to go start and try it out.
Yeah.
How could you see this replacing any disc in your bag, or where it would fit in your bag, Tanner?
So yeah, like we were saying with the utility disc, I have one in my bag and it's a pretty beat-in Firebird. It's just one that I've had in my bag for a long time. And it's the disc I go to for those tomahawks, those thumbers. If I need a forehand roller, which I don't usually throw a whole lot, but that's the disc I'm grabbing. And this could definitely take the place of that. It's a little bit faster Firebird, I think, if you had to compare it to it.
From your bag, because you have the Firebird as your utility disc. Yeah, I agree with that a lot. I have a flat top Champion Firebird, which is similar in the Z plastic, and that's my utility disc, and that's the only place I could see it taking the place. And I love that for the forehand flicks, the overhands with the tomahawk and the thumbers, and the rollers. So that's where I could see it going in my bag. I'm probably not going to put it in there though, honestly. But this, not saying that this is a bad disc. I just already have one.
Yeah, if you're a beginner player, probably not a disc we'd recommend. If you're playing in tournaments and you're playing in like rec or intermediate,
or just even casually and you don't have a lot of arm speed,
this disc might be too much for you. I might look for something a little bit slower, a little bit less stable.
Totally.
If you're an advanced or a pro, so somebody has a good arm speed, a nice forehand, maybe you come from a baseball background. I know a lot of people start out as a forehand dominant throwers. For me, this disc holds up to my torque really well. Coming into to disc golf from baseball, I basically have a nice sidearm with a nice flick, and this thing you can never roll your wrist over enough to get it to turn over.
No, seriously. I really like that too about it, the stability with the forehand flick, just like you were talking about. Alright guys, so that's our Discraft Machete review. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook. We post a lot of daily content. We do some other things on there as well.
Yeah, we also have giveaways on those. On Facebook and Instagram is where you'll find the post for the giveaways. And they give you instructions on who to tag and what to post.
Yeah, how to enter the giveaways, the rules of that. Usually are able to enter 3 ways, through Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then there's extra entries added on if you're a Patreon subscriber, which you can find us at patreon.com/utilitydiscgolf.
Yeah.
For you guys that support us out there, that's great. That money goes to helping us improve the quality of our videos, getting new products, as you saw that mic just drop in real quick, and all that stuff, guys. Now, Tanner also wants to give you a little bit of info about a new Facebook group that we have.
Yeah, we have a Utility Disc Golfers Facebook group. It's a little community right now. It's about 57 people.
We want to grow bigger.
Yeah, we want to have a nice community where people can basically talk amongst themselves, and instead of just us talking to you. Me and Nick are both on there a lot, but we basically just talk about the disc golf scene.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Getting aces or...
Got one today. We were filming. You'll see this in like a week and a half though.
Or if you guys just want to post funny memes or just talk about maybe some of the pros that are switching teams this summer.
Yeah, you guys get some discussions going. Or if you have product that you're selling or you want to get rid of, let it be known on the Utility Disc Golfers page. We're all in for that. All positive stuff in the disc golf world we want to be talking about.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. So that's our wrap up of the Discraft Machete. And until next time, stay fly.